ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
We are ready to go. Our text line is open, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Welcome into today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 for this Wednesday, September 25th. Halfway there, we got a few more days, and then we got Herd football back for the first time in a long while, taking on Western Michigan. And I'm going to give you a chance to win a 2-pack of tickets today. That is 2 tickets to go see the Herd take on Western Michigan. That's coming up later on this hour. Our text line will be 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll come up with the parameters today. We've got a fun show today, I think. Since it is a busy weekend for Herd Athletics, we're going to get you caught up on everything that is happening. What is the weekend going to look like for you when you come into Jones C. Edwards Stadium on Saturday? So with that said, coming up a little bit later on the program, we're going to be speaking with Jarrod Hunley, the Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. We got, of course, the game coming up this Saturday. It's also the Hall of Fame game. We've got the 2014 team coming in as well. And then, of course, next week, going to be homecoming at App State. Both those games are going to be 3:30 kicks, so I know you're all excited about that. Get a little tailgating in, get a little football in, and then have the rest of the evening to, well, probably tailgate some more. So we got a pretty good next couple of weeks coming up, and at least with the Thundering Herd being home the next couple of weeks, it means we get to see Marshall, and hopefully that's 2 wins. I'd like to see the Herd start off with a conference win against Appalachian State, and I actually feel good about that game. Ask me next week, but I feel good about that game. I think Marshall's got a shot at winning that game. I'm not really questioning how the Herd's going to perform in that one. I felt good. I feel good after that Ohio State game. Now, ask me again after the Western Michigan game, because they're a pretty good team. Despite the record, I think they're a solid team, and we're going to hear a little bit more about the game coming up. We've got comments from Coach Huff a little bit later on. Also, we've got comments from quarterback Stone Earle. I think he's got the job. There's no more of this quarterback controversy. I think he has got the job. It is his to lose right now, especially the way he played in Columbus against Ohio State. I really thought that the Herd offensively did some nice things. Defensive, they're sort of like the Cincinnati Bengals right now. I'm not going to say that they're that good on fits. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and those guys. I mean, that's another level altogether. But the defense was letting them down, and I really don't think it was just Marshall's defense letting its offense down on Saturday. This is Ohio State, and we go back to that: bigger, stronger, faster. That's what I'm looking at here for Marshall on Saturday. A team that is comparable, and Marshall should be able to do a little bit more. And you're now, 4 weeks into this? 4 weeks into this, actual game weeks, including the off week. We're 5 weeks into this. So the Herd should definitely have an opportunity with the Western Michigan Broncos coming into Huntington. Our text line, 304-396-TALK. Texter says, Paul, can we have just one home football game this season without the probable chance of heavy downpours, please? Well, we only had one game. I mean, come on. Got to be optimistic. We had one game, and sure, it was a mess, but that's just one game. I haven't even looked that far ahead. I don't even know what we're looking at for Saturday. I have not looked that far ahead. Is it going to be bad? I mean, it was bad yesterday to a degree, but is it going to be bad? All right, now you're making me look up the weather report. I usually don't do this. I usually don't do the weather report. Coach Huff said it was going to be good. Come on. I trust in Coach Huff. We're going to have fun. We're going to be fine. The weather is going to be fine. Absolutely fine for this one. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. All right, you made me pull out the weather app on my phone. All right, Saturday, 50% chance. Saturday, 50% chance. And It's supposed to rain, if I'm looking at this thing correctly. Kickoff, 3:30? Okay, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, and we might get some rain around 7 o'clock, 6:45, 7 o'clock. We'll be fine. Absolutely fine for this. I think it'll be fine. 304-396-TALK. That's, again, our text line to be a part of the show. I'll check in with Spencer Atkins. We'll get him on the program, give me an updated weather report. It was actually cool. The last time that we had the home game and Marshall was looking at the weather, we had Spencer Atkins. He had all of his data and everything on his laptop up in the booth, and he was actually charting all the lightning strikes and everything that was going on. So that was kind of cool to watch. And then I look at Spencer and go, can we get this thing started again, please? Like it was his fault. So Marshall and Western Michigan coming up on Saturday. And I'm kind of curious. Are you excited? Are you really excited for this one because of the history between Marshall and Western Michigan? I mean, after all, you got to go back a ways for what was probably one of the most memorable MAC encounters ever. Championship game between these two squads. I think that was something that really excited a lot of fans back in the day. Chad Pennington, obviously, the hero of the game to a degree. So are there memories of Marshall, Western Michigan? Are you just excited to have a home game? So let me know in the text comments. Again, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So when we continue, let's talk to Jarrod Hunley, Director of Marketing, Fan Engagement. We've got games coming up the next couple of weeks. Don't forget, we got soccer coming up tonight. Marshall taking on VCU. That is going to be at Hoops Family Field, 7:15 there. So the Thundering Herd back in action should be, I know it's a little overcast right now for those of you listening live, maybe on your way to the game. It's a little overcast right now, but I think we're going to be fine as far as the weather, so they should be able to get that one in. But we're not going to talk about the weather. When we continue, we're going to talk about what a great day it's going to be on Saturday with Jarrod Hunley when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavallette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F-words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine.
Not fun.
Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue is now in Milton. Enjoy all your favorite Buddy's classics like pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more on East Main Street in Milton. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, the home of great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings in Huntington and now in Milton.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think you would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in West Virginia.
This message presented by the West Virginia Secondary School Activities Commission and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
What's your favorite high school sports memory? A late-inning rally? A game-winning shot? A photo finish? Maybe it's a pep rally or a pregame ritual. Maybe it's the euphoria of a late-night bus ride home after a hard-fought win. Maybe it's having pizza with teammates after the game. Now, imagine if it never happened at all. School sports need your help. With budgets getting tighter, it's more than the games that are on the line. It's all the traditions, the community pride, the culture of your hometown high school. Plus, all those memories that are on the line, too. What can you do? It's simple. Buy a ticket when you can. Go to a game. Take the whole family. Let's do everything we can to keep those cherished school sports memories alive.
This message presented by the West Virginia Secondary School Activities Commission and the West Virginia Athletic Directors Association.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
We'll get back to our text line in just a few minutes at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We get a busy weekend coming up. Of course, Thundering Herd getting set for Western Michigan, so Coach Huff will have the guys ready to go. But are you ready to go? Well, to help us get ready, let's join now the Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University, Jarrod Hunley. And Jarrod, I know the team will be ready. It's been a couple of weeks. It's been about a month. Are you and your team ready?
Yeah, it has been a while since we've been in the zone. But, yeah, you can always count on us. We're always ready to go. Everybody's been working really hard here, and we are definitely excited to have the team back and to put on a good show for our fans, man.
I'm curious, you have that time off, so much time in between games. You know, how do you use that time in between? Is it just focusing on other events at Marshall, or, you know, are you really using that time to maybe refine the game day atmosphere from week to week?
Yeah. So, I mean, it always depends from place to place. For us, this time, I know me and Matt, who's the assistant director here, we actually got to get out and go watch the Virginia Tech game, go watch the Ohio State game. So we kind of put ourselves into different game day atmospheres on those weekends that we were off. So, getting to see what they do, seeing what their game day atmospheres are like, kind of comparing and contrasting notes with those teams. So we've been doing our due diligence on the off weekends to take a peek at what we can do on our game day atmospheres to make it better, and just enhancing that for our fans. But like you said as well, we got other sports teams, we got other events, so we also focus on those as well. Always a busy grind over here, and we try to take care of everybody, spread the love around, and make sure everybody's good to go.
Jarrod Hunley is with us, Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement. So the Hall of Fame game's coming up Saturday against Western Michigan. Coach Huff will have everybody ready. This is going to be fun. I know Ryan Crisp, your boss, if you can call him that, he is a big 2014 Herd fan. So they're going to be back, so I'm sure that he's going to be lined up just like everybody else, getting autographs. But it's the Hall of Fame game, so that means we get to honor a lot of special athletes that are making their return to Marshall University. Just how special is that going to be for the fans on Saturday?
Yeah, so I was at that time I was a marketing intern, so I was on the field for the 2014 championship game. I remember seeing my buddy. I was working, so I had to clean up, and so I'm carrying the goalpost out, and I remember yelling at my buddy. I was like, "Give me a piece!" So I'm looking at my desk right now. I got a piece of the field goal post sitting next to me. So that reunion's going to be a really fun time. I'm happy to see those guys back, and it's always fun when those guys come in, and got Rakeem, got Shu, all those guys. We're excited to have them back in town. But like you said, Hall of Fame game, bunch of Herd legends coming back. We got Dave Alley, Aaron Blair from baseball, Rakeem. We got Nate McKee, Tommy Schuler from football, a couple track and fields. We got Vanessa Jules. We got Crystal Walker, a couple other ones that were there when I was, just coming in as a freshman. And then Andy Williamson, softball. I mean, what a legend. Shonda Stanton, softball, what a legend. So, we're excited to have all of them back. We're going to have a couple recognitions for each during the game. Going to be super excited to have them back. A lot of fans can interact with them, and just kind of, see those legends coming back in town. Marshall has that way of bringing you back, and everybody loves to reconnect and come back to Huntington. So we're happy to have them.
So how will the fans get to interact with those legends, and what can they expect from everything that's going to be happening on Saturday?
Yeah, so I know we have a Hall of Fame dinner Friday. I think tickets may still be available. There's a Hall of Fame dinner Friday, so we're going to go through that. They'll get some stuff from us, kind of honoring them, getting into the class, getting into our Hall of Fame. And then on Saturday, we're trying, our best to make sure that we're letting them, kind of enjoy their weekends. Be with their family, be with their friends, be with, everyone that's going to be, surrounding them throughout the weekend. But, like I said, we'll have that honoring on the field. And then from there, we'll kind of let them go back to their seats. Fans will, be able to see them at the tailgates, see them during the game. I'm sure they'll be happy to, anybody coming up to them, I'm sure they'll be happy to, say hey, and interact with our fans that way up in the stand as well. So they'll have a busy weekend, I'm sure, but I know they're super excited to be back in Huntington and super excited to be a part of the Hall of Fame class for 2024.
Jarrod Hunley's with us, Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. So as we get closer to the game, are there any specials or promotions that fans need to be aware of? Anything that they can take advantage of to come to the game?
Yeah, so once again, we're doing, kind of our new things. We have our $2 Blitz, which is going to be happening that first hour of gates open. So they still have that opportunity for $2 hot dogs, $2 popcorn, $2 fountain drinks. I know we've got a special cup this week, kind of that color changing cup that we had last time, but this one's a new one. Got the Hall of Fame logo on it, so they can take advantage of that, get a new nice little promo item for the house. I know my kitchen's full up with Marshall cups and Marshall gear, so definitely a cool thing to kind of commemorate the evening. We have our new kind of a new entry point for them, Gate B South. We had that as our kind of our fan experience zone. We've now opened that up to kind of alleviate some traffic issues. So we'll have a new open entry for them that they can walk through. And then new photo opportunity behind the student section, a couple other things, we're going to have up on the board throughout the game that I don't want to give away too much. But yeah, a lot of things to expect for this game. We're going to have Marlana Van Hoos. She's going to come through, sing the national anthem. So that's always a great time. I know she's been through here a couple times, and she's a class act. So we're happy to have her back for that as well.
How important is Hall of Fame weekend? I know we do this now every 2 years. It's not a yearly event, but it's a biannual event. So what's this going to mean just to have these folks back, and then in another couple of years to have another group back? Just what's the meaning, for an event like this for Herd fans, old and young?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the biggest events that we got, where we can kind of showcase our athletes from the past and kind of honor them in the best way that we can. Me being a fan, since I was a kid. I don't know, Paul, if you've seen my tattoos, but I got a bison on my arm, so pretty ingrained in me since I was a kid to be a Herd fan. So seeing these guys come back, these ladies come back, it's just super special. And I think Huntington is such a great place to call home. And I'm glad that we've given a space and opportunity for these athletes, these coaches, to enjoy this town, spread their knowledge, their wisdom, give us, what they gave us, but also to be coming back and just, showing us that love and us getting to, put them on the pedestal that they deserve as they came through Huntington and came through Marshall. Always just such a special event. And for me as a Herd fan, and I know for everyone else listening, seeing these guys come back is just so special, man.
Jarrod Hunley's with us, Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement. So football is almost here. We've got the Herd taking on Western Michigan. And then we turn our attention to basketball. Once again, we're taking over the streets of Huntington, hoops in Huntington. And this is an opportunity for fans to come watch the Thundering Herd, both the men and the women. You've got the court out there again. I'm sure you're going to have another video display. It's going to sort of be WWE-esque as the intros, the pyro, everything. This has become a really special event that fans look forward to every year.
Yeah, man, we're excited to have it. It's going to be next Thursday, October 3rd, 7 p.m. We're excited to have everybody out. Little shift, I think. We've got those new crosswalks in town, which are great. So we've shifted the court a little bit, but, other than that, same area, same spot. We'll have that same, like you said, the WWE kind of video board style. We might switch that to the west end there just to alleviate. I know we normally have that sun shining through down at that time, so we'll alleviate that by moving that screen to that side. But we'll still have great activations, food trucks, maybe some inflatables, and then, we'll have businesses in Huntington that are coming out and tabling. Big thing for this one, I think, we're doing kind of like a VIP event for the youngsters. So there's opportunity for youngsters to come. Basically, that time right before 7 p.m. We'll probably do like 6:30 around there, where kids can come up, get kind of a one-on-one with Corny, Julie, and create a fascinating experience for the younger fans, just so we can connect a little more with them. But yeah, no, super excited to be back. Super excited to have that event. I love going down to Pullman Square and doing hoops in Huntington.
Any change to the format? Anything that maybe you like but you want to change up a little bit, or is it pretty much going to be the same as we saw last year, just new faces?
Yeah, kind of more free flowing. I know we switched up a little last year, where we did kind of like knockout lines. We kind of did that thing, but we kind of switched it up to where our fans, our kids, can kind of have more of that free for all type of action where they can interact kind of on the fly with each other, and that seemed to be kind of more of a hit. So we're going to be doing that more so beforehand. So feel free if you're coming to the event. Our players and coaches, they're excited to have you down. So feel free to be out there on the court, interact with interacting with them beforehand, and then we'll get the event rolling. I know it's just basketball focused this year, so we'll have the men's, women's team. We'll be doing, kind of interviews throughout with players from each team. Cheer team will be there. They'll be doing a routine. Dance team will be there. They'll do a routine. And then we'll go through. We'll do a skills challenge. We'll do the 3-point contest. And then we'll be doing a kind of horse contest, but we'll call it the herd contest and spelling herd out. So that's what we've got planned for it. Both coaches will talk, first year for each of them. So we're excited for them to experience that and be with the fans and kind of talk about what they're doing and what they have going on for the season upcoming. And then there's going to be kind of a special thing towards the end that I can't really disclose as of right now, but excited for that as well. So be sure to come out, stick around for the whole event, and we'll end it with something pretty cool.
All right, looking forward to it. That is hoops in Huntington, and then of course after that we follow that up with homecoming against Appalachian State. I don't think we need to say anything more. It's Appalachian State. That's all fans need to know. Show up, hate the Mountaineers. That's all we need to know.
There's something about that name, isn't it?
There's something about App. I think that App State, owns it more. Just as the years as an older herd fan follower, someone who's been around just a little longer. I remember those days with Appalachian State, so I love every interaction between them. I think they're a great rival for the Thundering Herd. Both schools like to get after each other, and of course, there's just something about some of those old Southern Conference matchups that still ring as I think some of the best times in herd athletics. I know I'm talking about better times, and we're looking at championships in the MAC and all of that stuff, but you know what? Give me App State, give me Georgia Southern, give me some of these schools. I'll take them any day, but the Mountaineers are coming to town. It's homecoming, so it's just beat Appy.
Amen. Yeah, no, we're excited for homecoming, man. That's always a special event. I always see so many faces coming back to town for homecoming and coming in for that weekend. So, I always love homecoming. And just to top it off, being that it's against App State, just a little cherry on top, and we'll get after it for sure.
My guest is Jarrod Hunley, Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. If fans want to keep up on everything that's happening with you and, of course, the Thundering Herd, where do you send them?
Yep, herdzone.com, always your best place. Just download the HerdZone app. We're always sending notifications out through that. Our reward system's through that as well. Make sure you're logged into that. Make sure you got an account. That's where you can get your tickets as well. I know we're moving to digital tickets, and everybody's got questions about that. But that's definitely the easiest way is having that HerdZone app downloaded and just being sure that you're logged into your account, ready to go. Pretty easy to add them to your wallet as well. But, yeah, that's the best place to reach us. And then, heck, I'm always available, so feel free to reach out.
Jarrod Hunley, my guest. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for doing this. We'll do it again soon, I hope.
Thanks, Paul. Always a pleasure.
There you have it, Jarrod Hunley, Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement at Marshall University. We'll hear from Coach Huff. We'll also hear from Stone Earle. Comments from them earlier this week. We've got that for you when we continue. And our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
BOGO Wing Blitz!
So what are you doing?
I'm practicing my order for the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. BOGO Wing Blitz!
What's a BOGO Wing Blitz?
It's the best play in college football, baby!
Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe College Game Day BOGO Wing Blitz. Every college football game day, buy one jumbo traditional wing and get one free. Plus $3 domestic tall drafts.
BOGO Wing Blitz! Say what?
At the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue in downtown Huntington. Hey, Tri-State, there is a place to shop at. The Huntington's Peddlers Mall is now open in the historic Central City District in Huntington. Over 200 vendors specializing in vintage antiques, home decor, furniture, collectibles, new mattresses, and everything in between. Peddlers Mall, located 800 14th Street West in Huntington. It's the place to go. Open 7 days a week. Visit anytime. Check out the website, peddlersmall.com, for more information. It's the Tri-State place to shop, Huntington's Peddlers Mall.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Stalwart Insurance is the name for insurance in the tri-state. They are committed to delivering tailored benefit solutions with thoughtful, strategic planning with valuable professional services. Stop by or call Stalwart Insurance for your homeowner's insurance needs. Stalwart Insurance is located right beside Kenny Queen Hardware on Route 10 in Barbersville. Call Stalwart Insurance anytime at 304-552-3883. That's 304-552-3883. Or visit them online at stalwartinsurance.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-878-6993. 800-878-6993. 800-878-6993.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Here we go, second half of the show. Text lines 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Let's go back to our text line. Texter says, Paul, I am really excited. Haven't had a home game in a month. Of course, the rivalry aspect of it, too. Also from the text line, Paul, I don't like Western Michigan. I don't like any Michigan football team. Okay, I can see that. Appreciate that text as well. How big is this as a rival? Is it big? I'm not saying it's Appalachian State big, but is it big as far as the personal rivalry? If you're a fan of Marshall football and you grew up in the Mid-American Conference age, Western Michigan was a rival. Definitely a challenger to the throne when Marshall was there. One of the Toledo, I would think, would fall into that category. Western Michigan definitely would fall into that category. Miami, the Red Hawks would fall into that category as challengers to the throne. I'm not going to say Ohio was a challenger to the throne, but Ohio and Marshall always would get after each other. But those are the three I think of first. I think of Toledo. I think of Western Michigan. I think of Miami, the Red Hawks. And, of course, when Marshall was in Conference USA, I think of Western Kentucky, definitely first and foremost. So where do we rate Western Michigan on the scale? 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And don't forget, we're giving you a chance to win tickets today to go see the Herd take on Western Michigan. You got a 2-pack coming up on Saturday, 3:30. You can be there Just keep the text line going, and we'll give you a chance to win later on in the show. Coach Huff, had a chance to catch up with him earlier this week. Part of his weekly duties is sitting down, or in his case standing, and talking to the media. And that would be people like me who work in the media. Now, today we're going to focus on Coach talking about actually focusing, because the question was asked to Coach about the importance of knowing that his team can execute against a team like Ohio State. And so then what does that mean for the rest of the season? So here's what he had to say about keeping that same level of preparation regardless of the opponent.
Yeah, well, what you got to do, or what I've got to be able to do as the leader, is in today's generation, it's easy for our guys to get up for those type of games. Because, your whole life you got the chip on your shoulder. I get a chance to play on the big stage. I'm going to go show the world, what I can do. They prepare better during the week. They're more focused because obviously they know the opponent creates a challenge. What I've got to be able to do is and coaches talk about it all the time, but there's still a human fact to it, right? You prepare to a standard. You should be preparing the same way regardless of who you're playing. The reality of that is, yes, you should, but there's still a human fact to it. So what I've got to be able to do is I've got to be able to get the entire organization to prepare the exact same way we prepared regardless of who we're playing. That's the challenge. I think we have good leadership. I think we have the right mindset to do that. That's why you hear people talk about where you're playing yourself or you're playing a standard, or if you're, in the pursuit to try to win it all, you prepare the same way. But the reality of it is there's games that, just like the fans, they circle certain games that, I can't wait for this game. It's the same thing with the players. And as the leader, trying to figure out how to keep everyone preparing the same way. And you do it, right? You have the same practice schedule, same meeting schedule, but there's still a human fact to it. And you try to make sure that guys understand you're not preparing to play Western Michigan. You're preparing to create value for yourself. So if I can go out and dominate my opponent regardless of what color helmet they're wearing, that's going to create value for myself down the road.
That's sort of my argument when it comes to actually going to games. It's not the opponent. You're out there preparing to go watch the Herd play. It doesn't matter the opponent. Now, I get that. You want to circle certain dates, and you circle Ohio State. So I get where he's coming from as far as characterizing the fans. And I know that you look at other games and think, oh, okay, this really isn't that big of a deal. But the mindset's got to always be, hey, you're going out there to create value for yourself. I agree with that completely. And, of course, you keep that intensity. You're able to be more successful if you're consistent. You're preparing for Western Michigan the same way you prepare for Ohio State. I think the results are going to be in your favor. Now, Coach Huff also talked about the importance of leadership and maintaining focus throughout the season. He addressed the potential for letdowns after big performances. Of course, we know what those are all about. Example, you beat Notre Dame, you lose to Bowling Green. And Coach addressed that as well.
I think the leaders have a lot to do with it because the talk in the locker room has got to be the same. It can't just be let's go shock the world one week. It's got to be let's go shock the world every week. And that'll be what I don't know. We had a walkthrough yesterday, so I can't tell you that, oh, yeah, we had a great week of practice. But that was the challenge to the players. We played at times really well versus one of the top teams in the country. So we know what we can be. The choice we have to make is that who we're going to be week in and week out. I think you look at it all over college football. There's ebbs and flows. One week, team comes out and, they play phenomenal against whatever opponent. And the very next week, there's a letdown. As the head coach, that's my job, is to try to eliminate the letdown.
So does this team have the leadership that's going to take to get through the conference schedule? We still have one non-conference game to go with Western Michigan. So this is going to be, I think, some of you have said this is a trap game already. I've heard that. Hey, this is a trap game. No, it's not a trap game. Ask me again if I think it's a trap game on Saturday. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll go back to our text in just a moment. One more from Coach Huff. And in this cut, Coach Huff discusses how the availability of key players can affect game outcomes and the importance of adjusting preparation when dealing with injuries. And here's what he said.
And some of it has, nothing to do necessarily with the player's focus. We're in a situation right now, we got a lot of guys that are questionable for the game. Well, that changes everything. If your starter whatever or starter player whatever is not out there, well, you're going to have a different type of approach to the game. If the backup was good as the starter, he wouldn't be the backup. So that plays into it. I think back to, Notre Dame, 2 years ago. We beat Notre Dame and everyone's excited. Well, both our safeties were out the following week with sprained ankles. Well, then you drop a game to Bowling Green. It's like, oh, you guys is a letdown. Well, yeah, 2 really good players aren't playing. So that matters. Not an excuse, but all of those things go into it, and I think sometimes, you just look at, well, they didn't play, or they played well this week, not this week. There's a lot of things that go into it. So as the leader, I've got to try to make sure I do everything I can to make sure from an organizational standpoint, we have the exact same focus. We have the exact same approach to practice, meetings, walkthroughs, rehab, the whole nine. And that's the challenge, that you have week to week.
Coach Huff, his comments from earlier in the week. Injuries do play a significant role in game outcomes. We all know that. And so he's got a valid point there. We look at that Notre Dame game. Everybody's happy. Then you go into Bowling Green and you have some issues you have to overcome. It might be the same thing here. Keep that in mind with the Western Michigan game. Marshall might not perform exactly the way we are hoping because they're dealing with some banged-up players. You go up against Ohio State, that is big boy football. And I think the Herd acquitted itself well going up against big boy football. We'll just see now how well the Herd can acquit itself against a foe like Western Michigan. I know the spread isn't that big. Last check, I think Marshall was getting 3. It might be a pick 'em at this point. I'm still taking the Herd. Text line 304-396-TALK. Texter says, Paul, I'm always excited for Herd home games, but this is no longer a rivalry. Marshall wins a tough game 28-24. Go Herd. We'll see. It's not your rivalry like Appalachian State. I will concede that, and I would even imply that. But for a lot of fans, there were some fond memories, and going back and forth with Western Michigan was always fun. I think the Herd, however, younger fans, the team itself, there's a history there, but there's not that connection. Somebody like me, I love those teams from the Southern Conference and those teams, some of them from the Mid-American Conference. I probably have more of an affinity for the days of the Southern Conference, even though Marshall is having more success in the Mid-American Conference. But as Western Michigan is concerned, I think that's a more compelling matchup than some of the schools for Marshall now in the Mid-American Conference. I wouldn't want to see Herd play Buffalo. You get where I'm coming from? One more from the text line before we hit the break. Texter says, Paul, support the Herd on Saturday. Beat Western. What, no go Herd on after that? Come on, you know the rules. You got to go Herd after that. All right, when we continue, we're going to hear from Stone Earle. More of your texts coming up. It's The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Refresh your home today at Menards with window images, blinds, and shades. We have everything you need for updating your window treatments. We carry vinyl, aluminum, and faux wood blinds, cellular shades, and more. Save big on window treatments at Menards. Plus, get them cut to width in-store for free. Visit Menards.com and view our entire selection of window treatments today. Plus, the weekly flyer and other great deals going on now.
Save big money at Menards.
Now is the 710 5th Street, Huntington. Come in today to Mutual Wholesalers' beautiful showroom and see how your new bathroom will look. Check out Acre by Max. Have a new bathroom this year. Mutual Wholesalers, locally owned and operated. 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118. And operated. 710 5th Street, Huntington. Call 304-525-9118.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40%. Help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, Ray Crabtree, 304-736-8181. In Milton, Russ McRae, 304-743-9318. And in Lavalette, Jason Elkins, 304-529-7555. Are you tired of the blazing sun beating down on you while you drive? Well, say goodbye to heat and glare with ProTint, your Lumar Formula One tint installer. ProTint's premier window tinting not only keeps you cool and comfortable, but also protects your vehicle's interior from fading and cracking. ProTint guarantees a flawless installation every time. Choose ProTint for a sleek, stylish look, unbeatable UV protection, and customer service. Visit WV ProTint on Facebook today.
Hey Tri-State, Frank's Place is where friends hang out with friends. Stop on by for happy hour from 4 to 6 p.m. and a lot of daily specials. It's that time of year again, football season. Frank's has you covered from Marshall, WVU, the rest of college football to the NFL. First responders, stop by Frank's Place and check out the specials they have for you. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
It's our final segment for today's edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's go back to the text machine before we hit to the comments from Stone Earle. Texter says, Paul, Western Michigan will not be soft. They play a hard schedule also. I think Coach Huff has acknowledged that. They're a similar team to Marshall, so we might get a tough, close contest. I think that should be fun for everyone on Saturday. I'm in the crowd that I want a good game. I want something that's fun and compelling. Then there are those that want to blow out and then be done at halftime and go tailgate. I'm in the former. I like to see a good game. Of course, I do want to see Marshall convincingly win the game. I don't know if a blowout serves any purpose other than to make the Herd fans happy early and then go to the tailgate lot. But enough about that. Let's hear from Stone Earle. Marshall's quarterback was asked about being able to perform at a high level against Ohio State, and so he talked about the confidence boost the team gained from their performance, especially in that first half against what will be considered probably the toughest opponent on the schedule. Here's what he had to say.
I mean, it's huge, obviously. Like just being able to go out there that first drive and then the drive to end the half is just a big confidence booster. And then obviously, like, a lot of people are like, oh, we played hard, but at the end of the day, we just want to win. So any steps we could take forward to just going out there and winning, that's ultimately the goal, no matter how everybody plays. And then just looking back at the film, there's a lot of opportunities that we missed, especially just like little things like ball placement that can either turn the receiver going to score, breaking a tackle, or him getting tackled. So just clean up those things going into this next week and going in the conference play.
So the confidence is there, just correcting miscues, missed opportunities. And if there were a few more of those missed opportunities taken advantage of, I think this might have been a closer game, or at least have been more compelling. A couple of penalty calls there. I know I'm not going to blame the officials for anything, but there were some opportunities, especially missed in this one. Now, Stone also highlighted the importance of being efficient on early downs to keep the offense in rhythm, also to create some better opportunities later in drives.
Like you said, just being efficient on first down is just a big thing that we harp on around here, because it allows you to play with tempo on second down and then get into those shorter third down calls and then those shots that you can take. So just being able to execute the plays that the coaches put us in, and then just going out there and then just trusting our technique, that's huge, especially at a quarterback, because whenever you get into those obvious passing situations, it's tough, especially going against better teams that have a great pass rush and they kind of pin their ears back and try to get after the quarterback. But at the end of the day, just going out there and executing on first and second down is definitely huge.
Next, Stone was asked about Western Michigan's defense and the challenges they present. He noted that when their defensive front is playing well, they are a very tough team.
I definitely would say, like, up front and just all around, they're a very physical football team, like the other guys have said. Whenever those guys up front are on, like, they're a really good football team, and they've shown a lot of good things on tape against bigger teams, just like we have. So we know we have a great challenge this weekend, and I'm excited just to kind of have a home game against a great team.
This is going to be something you got to keep your eye on. How does Marshall handle the pressure? That's going to be essential for success. And Western Michigan, they are a physical team, especially up front. So that's going to be a key challenge for the Thundering Herd as well. A couple more from Stone. In this next cut, he shared his thoughts on competing against Ohio State's defense and just how that performance gave the team more belief in the ability to compete at a higher level.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's reassuring to know that you can go out there against one of the top defenses in the country and perform well. But like, at the end of the day, we want to win. So, I mean, kind of like I said earlier, you can go out there and perform, but the biggest thing that I want to achieve is just winning ball games. And so.
And finally, Earle talked about how important this upcoming game is before Marshall heads into conference play. To build momentum with a win, it will be crucial, and Earle said that he and the team are ready for the challenge.
I mean, it's huge because it's the next game, and we know that we need to win this game to set up a rest of the great season and going into conference play with some more momentum. But like you said, like, we just take it week by week, and we know that this is a big opponent that wants to come in here and do the same thing. So we just got to keep all of our focus on what we're doing this week and go out there and win this game for sure.
2-2 going into conference play, I would be happy with that. I would have been happier with 3-1 with that win against Virginia Tech, which I thought the Herd might be able to pull off. Instead, 2-2 is where we potentially could be. I think Marshall going into conference 2-2. I think that's going to be a good place for the Herd, especially with a win at home against Western Michigan. Then you get App State, a game that will be a true rivalry game. Herd fans and Mountaineer fans love getting after each other, so I think that's going to be a big one in a couple weeks. Can't look too far ahead, though. Western Michigan, I think, is going to be a tough challenge first and foremost, and I think the Herd needs that. A winnable game, but a tough challenge as well, and I'm sure Western Michigan's thinking as well, hey, look, we've been through a similar situation. Marshall's a tough game, is a winnable game. So the team that probably handles the pressure more. And the good news is Marshall's at home. Marshall has the advantage there. Hopefully Herd fans will show up in large numbers on Saturday. Forget all that talk about weather. It's going to be fine. Absolutely going to be fine. We'll have great football weather for a Saturday. We're going to be out there as well. 12:30 p.m. on Saturday with our pregame coverage. We'll be near the M Club Pavilion. Looking forward to seeing you. And hopefully we'll have a big crowd for the game on Saturday as we go on the air with our pregame coverage. And then after the game, I invite everyone to stick around. I'll be right back after the game broadcast is over to break it down with you. And, of course, hopefully we're talking about a Marshall win. We've got more this week. It does not stop. Coming up tomorrow, I'll be back same time, and then we will have coming up the Coach Huff Show, your next opportunity to hear from the head coach of the Thundering Herd. All that's coming up tomorrow right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I want to thank my guests for joining me today, the Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement, Jarrod Hunley. Thanks to Jeremy for coming on. A lot to go over today. Of course, the game coming up against Western Michigan, the Hall of Fame game. We've got also Hoops in Huntington. That's coming up next week. So busy week for Thundering Herd fans. And don't forget, soccer tonight. Your number 7 Marshall Thundering Herd playing host to VCU tonight. That's going to be 7:15 at Hoops Family Field. If you missed any part of today's show, you can go back and listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Good night, everyone.
Retransmitting in Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.